Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope you are doing well, and if not, remember Sudarshan Kriya, breathwork for the art of living technique can help you to feel much better and to uplift your energy. I don't know if you know these guys, but I am a certified project manager, PMP certified, and it's one of the toughest project management certification, if not the most. And what I like, one of the things that I like the most about that certification, the skills that one learns is how real, how applicable they are as well to our daily lives. It's not only just to lead macro projects, for big corporations, but just in our daily life we can use it as well. So today I want to share with you some tips, about how you can manage your time. A lot of people get simply overwhelmed when they have to do a lot of things and they don't know how to start, and they forget, prioritization to prioritize because everything seems important at the same time. So let me explain you how you can identify which tasks, which things. It doesn't matter if you are a house mother caring for a home, if you're living alone and you have duties to do at your home and your work. If you are a couple, if you have children or children, pets, all these tips are tips, and even at your work, these tips are very generic tips that you can use for your work. It's about really identifying which tasks we need to focus first, and then tackle those tasks first. So the first thing that one has to do is to, when you feel overwhelmed, when you have so many things that you need to do, just write them all down. Okay, just take a notebook, like this, a notebook or a piece of paper, and you just write everything you do. What is called a brain dump. You just everything that is just coming in your mind. I need to do this. I need to do that. You write it everything down, because as long as you keep them here on your head, it's like you won't be able like to differentiate the tree from the bush. You just like walking here and there and you don't get clarity. So it's very good. Take the normal paper, a white piece of paper, notebook, and do it. I wouldn't advise to do it on a notebook, on digitally. You can always do it. It's better than not doing it. But there is something really special when you get more clarity, when you just take a notebook, piece of paper, and you write everything that you have to do. And sometimes you come up even with solutions, and you get clarity about, oh, this is important, this is not important, already when you are writing it with your own handwriting, and with a piece of paper. So please do it like that. Once you have done that, look into grouping the activities. If you have activities that are administrative based, like call this person, write an email, just gather them, just book them. Okay. Then, oh yeah, so administrative, for instance, activities that are not administrative, but maybe they require you to go somewhere. If you, for instance, have to go to a hairdresser, then you have to go to buy clothes. Group them together, because it's easier if you schedule those activities to be done on the same day. You go and you do your hair, and at the same time you go shopping, instead of you go do your hair, you come back home 3 days later, you go shopping. This way of organization, by grouping affinity activities, will help you to save a lot of time. Once you have grouped these activities, you need to see, um, put in a number, a number in the activity. Which ones have the highest priorities? So is it going to the hairdresser, going to a medical appointment, calling teachers at my children's school? You just number them. So one will be the most important one, and 10 will be the last, the least important one. And when I'm saying important in this case, I mean really the urgent one. Like, it has to happen. It has priority. Over the other ones. And maybe it's not necessarily the most important one, but it's the urgent one to be done. Like if you need to call to your bank because you need to pay some receipts, and today is the deadline, and you have another activity which may involve your children, something like that. That's more important, of course. But this one with the bank is urgent one because you need to pay it, to do it before the deadline runs. So you need to see which ones are the most important one, the ones that needs to get done, the ones that have the shortest deadline, because one of the reasons why we get so stressed out, it's because we don't have clarity on the deadlines. Everything is in our head, so everything is important at the same time. And when we write the activities down, then we can identify which ones have first priority, second priority, based on the deadline. Because it's really the deadline that pressures us. We know that these activities has to be completed by this date, and that pressures us. But if we have control, if we have clarity about the deadline, then we can better assess, when to do it. And if we have already grouped the activities based on based on similarities, we can tackle those activities better. So it's very, very important to know the deadlines that are have been set to you. If they have not been set to you, you set yourself the deadlines, so that you can assess how important they are, how fast you have to accomplish them, and so on. Okay. And when you number them by like one, the most important one, 10 less important one, that has to be done first. The one has to be done first, and the 10 the last one. You can, if you have like one, two or three activities that are one, you can put them one, but one maybe it's 1A, the other one is 1B, the other one is 1C. So let's say you have these administrative activities you need to do because the deadline is running, so you have to call to your bank. So that will be 1A, the most important one. The second will be, let's say, to call to your hairdresser, 1B. And they are all grouped already as as a activities that have a similarity. In this case, they will be administrative activities. And it's the reason why you may wonder, like, why grouping activities is because our brain will get tired less. This concept of multitasking and always jumping from activity to the other, that's very tiring for the brain. Our brain, our processor gets really very tired and very exhausted. So the least jumps, the least movements you you have to do is the better for the brain. So if you are making administrative activities, calls, do all the calls at once. If you're writing emails, write all the emails at once. Don't go somewhere, then come back, you write an email, then you call. Those type of activities, they use different places of our brain. So like if you have to go somewhere, you are already using the space orientation, and you have to see public transportation or taking your car and making sure a parking slot. It's already a lot that is involved in it. Whereas if it's calling, you're just sitting at home and you are calling. So this is the reason why you want to have all the activities group similar activities, because it will help you to get the work done faster. For the brain, it will be much easier to process all these activities, and you will be more productive. So in project management, there is something, it's called, the critical path. So a project has a deadline. So that's the definition of a project. The rest are just, daily operation activities, which we could actually use as project. If we set them a start date and a deadline with a specific deliverable. So out of a specific activities, what is it that needs to be the result of that activity, and why that outcome is important. This we need to have very, very clear in our heads, so that we can, excuse me, we need to have very clear in our heads so that we can really identify the priority. We can set good we can prioritize well all the activities that we need to do, you know. So let's say you want to go to the hairdresser, or and another thing will be you need to take your cat to your dog to a hairdresser. So you will need to assess which one of those activities has the outcome of those activities is more valuable, you know. If it's more impactful, that has more impact. So like if it's taking your dog, you know, to the hairdresser, it may be more impactful than taking you to the hairdresser, because maybe your dog has been scratching his head, you know, the whole time. He has not been sleeping well. He has been very creepy. Yeah, I mean, very weird, and you know, he just been quite uncomfortable, you know, and you know, like, oh, I really need to take him to the pet's hairdresser, you know, so that they wash his hair, and you know, and your hair, maybe you haven't washed it for a few days. You want to get a cut, but you know, if you spend a couple of days more without doing it, you know, it's no worry. So the outcome, you know, the outcome of having your dog, taking your dogs to a pet's hairdresser, it's much more impactful and will have a higher impact on your well-being, your being of your dog, of your whole family, than your own hair, you know, than taking your own hair to a hairdresser. So you will have to prioritize that activity, you know, even if some people, you know, will argue, will say, well, it's your dog, you know, you have to put yourself in first place. And so he said, oh, he can just take it one day more. It doesn't work like that, you know, it doesn't work like that. So you have to think, right, always about the output. What am I getting out of this activity? What's the value? What is the output that I'm getting? Because it should not just be an activity, because an activity we can do, it just occupies our time and finished. It should be an activity with a specific deliverable, a specific output, you know, with a specific result which will benefit us somehow. Okay, we need to think about that, because a lot of people are very busy doing activities that don't really yield the desired results, so don't yield results that are very impactful for now, at least where they are in their lives. Maybe in 2 months, or in 2 months they could be impactful, but today they are not impactful. So maybe people do those activities because they just want to do them, you know, but when they see the outcome that it comes, it's like, okay, I have this outcome, but this outcome, I don't have to use it now. I don't need to use it now. This outcome, I need to have it in 3 months time, because in 3 months time I will be able to do something specific. I need to do something specific with that outcome. Are you following me? It's very important really to think about the work, about the relationship of the time you're going to invest in one activity and the result out of it, and what you're going to do with that result. If it's a result that you will, if it's an output that you will use after 3 months, then don't invest now time in that activity, you know. Invest time in another activity which output you need now and will have an impact on you now. The thing is that many times we spend time in activities because we just like them, you know, because we feel more comfortable with these activities, but the output, the result, yes, we need it. It's good to have it, but we don't need it now. We won't be working with it now. So we don't want to prioritize those activities. And that is where a lot of people get lost, you know, that they spend so much time in things that they just want to do. They procrastinate the things that they want to do, and they don't think so logically in terms of the time of relationship, output, and the impact that it has in their lives. You know, they think a little bit more emotional, let's say. Okay, so we don't want to do that. We want to be more strategic about how we use our time, and not only for for specific activities, like for instance going to cut my hair, but even for meeting people, you know, for activities that involves other people. Should we don't have to respond to meeting with someone, with a friend or relative, or doing something today or tomorrow. We manage our own time. We can look into the time that we have. We can see the activities that we need to do, and we can see when can we allocate the time that we're going to spend with that person within our time management. Maybe it's not now, maybe it's in 3 months, so we need to communicate that to the other person, like, now I'm not available in 3 months. Because you are managing your own time, you have other things in your life that you have to carry about. And a lot of people don't do this. They get requests from other people. Let's meet, let's do this, and they stop doing what they are doing, and they just incorporate the other requests. They don't stop and they think, okay, this person has demanded this for me, can I accommodate this now? And spending time with this person, half an hour, 1 hour, drinking, having a coffee, what is the result that I'm going to get out of that? Is it more valuable than result than just spending that time on myself? We need to assess that, and sometimes we need to ask our friends or the people that we are going to meet. We need to ask them, like, oh, is it something urgent, or is it something that can wait? Because based on that, you can then say, okay, I'm going to accommodate some time to this person now, I'm going to accommodate it in 3 months, right? As they say, yeah, it's something urgent, I really not to talk to you, then you can manage that time in your agenda currently with the rest of activities. So it's as you can see, it's really not secret, it's very logical. But if you know it, right? If you don't know it, then you get overwhelmed. It's like, oh, what do I do? And yeah, and you get completely overwhelmed and lost, and then you waste time in activities that you shouldn't have done, and you get no benefit out of it. So this is the most important thing in time management. This anyone will tell you is prioritization. You need to prioritize, and how you prioritize is how I told you, right? Really seeing the time that you need to invest in one activity, the outcome, the output that you will achieve, and if that output is necessary now, the impact that it has, or if it's an output that you will use later. Because if you use later, you can then postpone it, right? And also, maybe there are some activities. This is the beauty as well of writing down activities in a piece of paper, because you can see that there are some activities that you can do them parallelly sometimes. Maybe, let's say, you need to go get your hair done, or maybe your pedicure, and you can get your pedicure done maybe at the same time as you are talking on the phone, or you are writing an email, right? A lot of people, or their hair, a lot of people use their hairdresser time, to work. so so when you write things down, you get clarity on, oh, okay, I need to do this, I can do this at the same time I'm doing this. And also, you can get clarity on activities that you can delegate. You can see, and you can say, oh, this I can automatize, for instance, right? That's a type of delegation. I can automatize this activity, or this activity I can postpone it. So write it down. The secret really is writing down, prioritizing your activities, numbering them from 1 to 10, grouping them in related activities, and then um, decide which one has to be accomplished first, and why. Why is the outcome? Like, this one has to be accomplished first because when I do it, it will have this outcome, and this outcome will have an impact on me in this and this and this way. Okay, that's how you do it. And as I said, these tips can be used for big projects, for your work, your daily work, office job, when you start on that office job, for your own personal life, your family life, your work life. This is how I organize as well everything that I need to do. So many people say that I'm very productive, very productive. You get as well very disciplined, with this system. When you have this system in place, you have clarity about what you need to do, where you are heading towards, and you feel in control. So you can you can be very disciplined. It's much easier because you are not overwhelmed. You're like, okay, I need to do this because I know that this I need to do now. It's important. This I need to do in 3 months because it's now important. So you feel under control. And always remember as well when you do time manage, when allocate the time to activities, ensure that you always allocate a buffer, because an activity may take a little bit longer than expected, or just to rest. Many times we just go from one activity to the other and we don't take time to pause and to switch our mindset, to, okay, now I finished with this, let me just pause for 10 minutes, let me do a little bit of breathing exercises, reset my brain, and now take some fresh air, and now let me continue with other activity. So never set one activity right after the other, you finish the other. That's very tiring and very exhausting for the brain. So this is what I want to share with you today regarding time management skills from a project manager here. I hope you use them in your life. You can share these tips as well with other people that you think can benefit from them. And we see each other in the next video. Bye.